HT Smartcast.
Hi guys, how's it going? It's Fashion O'Clock and you're with Manish. Today I have a very dear friend who I truly respect and whose work I follow. Acclaimed Bollywood stylist Isha Bhansali. She's incredible. She's had an incredible inning at Femina as a fashion editor for years, and then later she gravitated towards Bollywood, and she's working with actors like Ayushmann Khurrana, and I just love what she does for Ayushmann. And she's got amazing personal style too. So please join me in welcoming the fabulous, the amazing Isha Bhansali. I just love her personal style and her take on menswear. It's so relatable, workable, and she experiments a lot. And I really like what she's done with Ayushmann Khurrana and a lot of other actors she works with like Rajkumar Rao, musicians like Arman Malik. So Isha, you're just amazing and I'm so glad you could join us today. You guys should follow her on Instagram. I think she has amazing content she creates day in and day out. And the way she plays with denims, with athleisure, and the way she mixes looks on her Instagram, I think it's a great reference point. I'm just waiting for Isha to join us. Hi!
I did! Manish, what's up?
I'm so happy you could join us. How have you been? How's been your day like so far? Busy with Fashion Week?
Sort of, yes. Trying to catch up with shows. Very thrilled that they're coming together. So, looking forward to that.
Anything specific you're looking forward to from menswear point of view? Anything which has caught your attention?
Tonight, we have Shantanu Nikhil. So that is that. And we've just started. So, let's see. I'm waiting for more. I'm waiting for Siddharth also. That title. So there's just, there's a lot more that we're going to be catching up with. Most of my favorites are in this, but yeah. All are not there, but then never mind.
Yeah.
Still looking forward to some. And I'm just so happy that they've come together. I think that's the showstopper. That's the entire show-stopping element. They have come together. So very happy about that.
Yeah. And then you've made a beautiful transition from editorial to Bollywood styling. And you've done incredible work in Bollywood and you were a great stylist at Femina back in the day. So how was the transition for you, if you could share? Like, did you have to tweak your working style, the way you would source, the way you would conceptualize, shoot?
I did actually. It wasn't easy because I'm like, my foundation is very strongly into editorial. Like I did that for 10 years. And I still am, by the way, that person, deep inside my heart. Like I love pictures. I love mood boards. I love conceptualizing shoots. I love that spread of 10 to 12 pages with the same story. I love doing that. But of course, it's a huge transition. But I try to incorporate it a little more in my styling with, the boys that I'm styling with. I do conceptualize. I have a vision in terms of how it needs to be photographed. And so, I try to bring in that bit a bit as much as possible. But, both of them have their own charm. And celebrities is great because they make such a fabulous picture, right? Because their personality is so amazing. It's just not about their body or it's just not about their face. It's just because they are such great actors. Their body language is amazing. Which, of course, with models, it gets different. So obviously, everything has its own pros and cons. And I'm just blessed that I'm enjoying the best of both worlds.
And I've really followed your work with Ayushmann Khurrana and you've done an incredible job with him. And when I think of Ayushmann, I think of all the amazing clothes he wears, all thanks to you. And also Ayushmann has a multi-layered persona, like he's an actor, he's a singer, he's a writer. So he's got a different personality. So when you're working with him, do you keep that in mind?
Yes, I always do. And in fact, the fact that he is so multi-talented works really well for me. Because he slips into the character of my clothes so easily, and he's very open-minded, and that's like I'm just so blessed that I'm styling him, and he gives me freedom to create, ideate, and then we collaborate, and it kind of works really well.
Yeah. And also the fact that, a lot of actors are a little temperamental and you have to have the whole star thing in mind. So do you also try and make them and sort of get the brief of the mood of the shoot and also trying to think of, okay, these are the parameters he expects? I mean, usually people say that stylists bring an entire rack full of clothing, full of luxury labels, and then, okay, you pick and choose whatever you like. Is that true?
I don't think so. I don't think it's just about getting a bunch of random clothes and go pick and choose. I think, and I would speak that for many stylists. I guess all of us have a vision as to what we want to do for which event. Everybody has a vision. And temperamental, no. Luckily, Ayushmann is not. He's, like I said, he's very open-minded. And, of course, if there is a very special event, we do discuss and think about it. Like, basically what we did for Filmfare Glam and Style Awards, where, a lot of people were like, okay, oh my God, this is so radical. And we wanted to go mad. And we really wanted to do something extremely whacked and edgy because it's the Glam and Style Awards, right? This is where you just go all out. Otherwise, a red carpet event is always traditional tuxedo, which we do as well. But that was a deliberate attempt, this intention of just, however, take it how it is. But yeah, he looked like a fashion god, in Gaurav Gupta, and it was just a fantastic outfit, and he pulled it off so well. And yeah, I think so. That was just one example of how we sort of kind of think about it in advance than just with a rack of clothes. No.
Any red carpet cliche which you think people should avoid, which is like that to death in India?
The thing is, I wouldn't say that for India, but I know, for example, now the Oscars are coming up, right? And it's around, I think, 80% of men are pretty much wearing the same thing. Whether it's an Armani suit or a Dior suit or a Fendi, Dior is still kind of breaking barriers in terms of doing a bit of asymmetric, bit of double-breasted or multiple button-breasted kind of suit. But it's pretty much, I know it's a tradition. It's a deliberate attempt to be a classic tuxedo with classic pants with your satin strip on the side and a classic bow tie and a classic tuxedo wingtip shirt. It's supposed to be that, but maybe they should go a little more all out and not all need to wear pretty much the same. In fact, a few of my moments I remember where Ryan Gosling wore this beautiful white tuxedo, which is still slightly different, but I feel they need to experiment more. Only when it comes to this specifically red carpet kind of occasion.
Any mistakes you think Indian men make usually when they're putting a look together? Where they usually go wrong in terms of the fits or in terms of overdoing something?
When it comes to fits, I guess suits are very important. And maybe we're still trying to crack it. And by that, I don't mean celebrities, because, they do it often and they're here for it. I'm actually talking about you and me or our friends. Or is it our boyfriends or brothers or, colleagues. But I think regular men really need to crack that. So it's about time. Of course, when it comes to celebrities, they do more red carpet. For us, it's like a cocktail party, right? But still, even if it's like a blazer with a t-shirt, you need to still figure out a good fit or what suits your body. So I think men still need to crack that. And we're still getting there. I mean, I'm sure we're getting there, because what's happening is we are getting more and more Indian labels who are offering suits than we used to have earlier. Earlier, we used to have those fantastic local tailors, which, with all due respect, it was like our version of Savile Row. But there are a lot of Indian designers who are offering suits. So I'm hoping that men kind of accept it more into their wardrobe and they learn how it's done. So yeah.
And also, we've reached a point in fashion, we are moving out of a pandemic. We are slowly moving out of pandemic. So how do you see it shaping up the fashion bit? Do you see athleisure still going strong? Do you see rigid tailoring coming back? Or do you see somewhere a cross between the two?
I feel athleisure definitely, and a cross between the two. Not something extremely rigid. The thing is, athleisure was always there even before we got into the pandemic. In fact, the pandemic did a huge favor to the athleisure market by coming around. So that's the only good thing about it. Otherwise, it was always there. It just got enhanced. It got exaggerated because we got more occasions to wear it. So especially now, it's not just our luxury brands, but you're trickling it down through all your high street brands. Everybody has sweatpants. Everybody has sweatshirts. They have different versions of sweatpants. They're like formal versions as well, right? Something that you wear with your blazer, like a very American baseball coach look. So it's got that. That is where you have a cross between rigid tailoring as well as relaxed athleisure, right? But I don't see something as rigid yet. Maybe let's see how it happens fall, winter, towards the end of the year, or maybe in spring, summer. But I still feel it's a little more relaxed, a little more resorty. And I think we've had this, you and I have had this conversation before about how things are getting more into resort and people are holidaying because they've already done the exaggerated days of working at home, and now getting out is getting away. Rather than getting out means hitting the nightclub. I think it's become that.
Yeah. True. And also talking about the Indian groom space, like most of the grooms either end up wearing the sherwani, achkan, or the bandi, or the kurta, or the tuxedo for the cocktail. Do you think is there a way where Indian men can probably be a little more experimental and fun than sticking to these classics?
Yeah, try lungis. If I use the word skirt, it'll scare you. So why don't I not do that and say the word lungi? Maybe you can try something like this with this really lovely blazer. It looks fantastic, and sandals. It works great for Indian men because of the kind of skin tone, the kind of personality that Indian men have. It looked fantastic, and I remember how I had done that with Irfan Khan, and he looked fantastic. And Abraham and Thakur did it, and mind you, it wasn't very traditional lungi. It didn't have the usual Madras checks, or it didn't look like the mundua, however you want to call it. In fact, they had geometric stripes, black and white monochrome stripes. So it was very, very Western, incorporated into a lungi, and then he wore it with like this jacket. It looked pretty cool. So definitely incorporate this in, maybe if not for the main day, which I guess I'm sure some castes could allow. But if you wear it in the Mehndi, it looked fantastic and so cool. True. And how would you interpret your style? Like, I've been seeing some amazing pictures you've been posting, like lots of denims, lots of mix and mash, lots of play of silhouette. So what is your personal take on your style? The thing is, my personal style depends on how much time I have. And that is what has happened lately. I've kind of got to concentrate a little bit on how much I dress. Otherwise, you should see me at my most hectic day at work. I really don't give a damn about how much I dress or how I dress. But no, I know it's really important to keep getting back to that. Otherwise, I am a denim person. Like, I love Levi's because they are an authentic denim brand, right? I'm a denim freak. Like, not even a fan, a freak. And so, you wouldn't believe me, but I when lockdown started, the first month, we were all in our PJs, right? Oh my God, it's like this new revolution and chilling in PJs and blah, blah, blah. I didn't keep track of my waist. Like, track of my weight at all. And I'm like, you know what? I think I need to start wearing not those really skin-tight skinny jeans, but those mom jeans at home, those loose jeans at home, those pleated denims, wide leg denims, wear them at home. And yeah, so I'm just so glad I got to incorporate all that. I was missing them for a month, and I'm like, I have no clue when we're going to get out. I'd rather just wear them at home. True. And how do you see, now we're moving out of the whole pandemic bit, and now slowly red carpets are happening, but it's all virtual. So do you think it'll probably transform the way we do red carpet in the future now, considering the awards are virtual and it's sort of comfort driven, but then people want to go back to this whole idea of dressing up, the roaring 20s. Do you think roaring 20s are going to make a comeback now? People are like sick of being in their jeans and comfort. Yeah, because roaring 20s was always about a flapper dress, but it was very relaxed and straight, but at the same time very formal. So that's the reason why, like, you're right. I mean, that's the reason why you see why it will come back. But you want to talk about whether people will still dress up. I mean, I love what Zendaya wore. I think it was for an Emmy. Yeah. So I love what she wore, and it was virtual. and it was fantastic. And why not? Like absolutely why not? I think you don't need a red carpet to wear a gown. So why not wear it on your couch? It's absolutely okay. And we can't stop enjoying. I know we have to stop going out, but we can't stop enjoying that. And it's not like you're doing it silly. There is still a reason, and it's still virtual, and you still want to dress up. Even though it's virtual, it's actually a very emotional mental state, because mentally you are on the red carpet. So you want to feel it, and I think I don't see anything wrong in wearing it for a virtual event or like a Zoom session if it is like a cocktail party. No, why not?
Is there a dream actor or any individual you would love to dress, whose style you really admire and would really one day love to dress up, in India or internationally?
I'm actually a fan of Jeff Goldblum. I love his shirts and I love his glasses, but Dan Levy is also really good. From the younger boys, I like how Nick Jonas is styled. He's really good. Like his style is, they do a great job on him, and they actually experiment. But I really want to style boys like James Franco.
Yeah.
Jake, I know, right? Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, these are the kind of boys, and I know they don't really do much, but maybe that's them, of course. But I would love to do something different on them. So, yeah. Back in India, I love Ranveer. He's a part.
Yeah.
He's great. And who else? I guess musicians. I think Badshah is so fantastic. Even both Diljit and Badshah, both actually. I also like Diljit's style. It's not just about the brands, it's also about he very carefully puts things together in terms of moods and colors and everything. So yeah, that's my favorite list.
And talking about Ranveer, there has always been a criticism that he tries too hard and he goes all out. But then when men are too safe, they are considered boring. So how do you draw the line? Like, what is boring? What is avant-garde? What is fashion forward?
This is the problem actually not with us. This is the problem with art, with any form of art. There will always be a different opinion. Because it's not mathematics, right? You can't calculate it, and everyone can't come up with the same answer. Otherwise, I think it's great because he wears what he likes. And it's well thought. And I think he and Natasha have really come together and create magic. So I don't feel that, I know he gets criticized, but a lot of things. Picasso was criticized, Van Gogh was, oh my god, poor boy, he was like madly criticized. So they're all geniuses now, right? They're masters. So I don't look at it that way at all. It's just the way he wants to be, because if that's his state of mind and he wants to wear it, then he can wear anything that he wants. So, but yeah, you want to talk about drawing the line? I guess, yeah, some people are very boring because it's not about, because they don't put any thought into it. The line actually completely depends on you. Whether you want to draw a line, whether there is a line, or whether you want to just go all out and it's infinite for you. So I feel that it depends. But yeah, I guess at the same time, I wouldn't want a man to be boring in that sense. So, because there are a lot of men who are very minimal dressers, but they are like Ryan Gosling, right? He's not like whacked or anything in terms of dressing. He's in fact, I would say, less experimental than the other men that I have named. But it's still well thought. It's well put together. Like, there will be little element which will be slightly different. Like the way I give you an example of his white blazer. So he will definitely take a step ahead. So he has obviously decided where he draws the line, but he's making an effort, and that is what we want from people. To at least make an effort to put together. If this is your personality, no problem. We will just celebrate it, but at least make an effort. And that's how I think Ryan Gosling is the best example of a guy who's very approachable in terms of dressing sense, but at the same time stylish.
And today you have a stylist walking out of every corner. Like, you go to any fashion school, everybody wants to be a Bollywood stylist. And everybody wants to jump onto the bandwagon. So do you have any advice, like, to clear their mind that isn't as glam as it's made out to be, the challenges and how they should be prepared? Do they really have it in them to, think of a career in Bollywood styling?
Funny you asked me this question, because when I started to magazine styling. Because Devil Wears Prada released the same year and I joined, I think, in 2006. And that's when it released, I think 2006 or 2007. And this was the same question people would ask. Like, do you think, isn't it getting too much? Everybody wants to be a magazine stylist. And now, of course, everybody wants to be a Bollywood stylist. So there are obviously phases in the styling industry. In fact, there was a time where none of these were big at all, right? But I think these phases will keep coming. The only thing that you need to do is just be different and have your own voice. No matter what kind of stylist you are, because this is going to keep happening. Any industry that's booming all of a sudden, you will find everybody getting into it, whether it's styling or whether it's an MBA. So you just have to be different. You need to have your own voice. You need to set yourself apart differently from people, and that's when you will stand out. And that's the only way to. I mean, there are many ways to beat competition, but I feel that's the main thing. So yeah, they should keep that in mind.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Isha.
Money, it's very weird. I want to ask you these questions.
Maybe next time we'll do another live.
Yeah, we all need to do a collective chat where we're all happy. I really want to know, you know what, before you sign out, I want to know what is your day-to-day style, because I am seeing such amazing pictures that you've been doing, and oh my god, are they hot?
Thank you.
That photo of you with socks and reading papers and boxers is just like...
mood driven, but thank you. Coming from you totally makes my day.
Anytime. Seriously, yeah, please do more.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Big hug, big kiss.
I will speak very soon.
Yes. Love you. Bye. Thank you, guys.
This was a Hindustan Times production brought to you by HT Smartcast.
HT Smartcast.